let's talk about rush fees. First of all, what is a rush fee? A rush fee is an additional fee that you charge as you add to a project when a client wants something done extra super fast. And you know what I'm talking about, when you would normally take a week to do something because you do have other clients to accommodate, but instead the client really needs it in 2 days or something like that. Now here's the key. With this kind of project, you have to actually be able to do it. You can't, obviously, if a client needs it in 2 days and you can't do it in 2 days, don't tell them they can have it in 2 days. You have to be upfront with your clients, and obviously you have to be truthful with them. But if, again, normally you time something out for a week, give yourself a week to do it, and your client wants it in 2 days, and again, you can do it, it's uncomfortable, but you can do it, then you might want to charge a rush fee. And so a rush fee is an additional fee you add on when, again, you can do the work, but it's uncomfortable. Maybe you have to move some other stuff around. Maybe you have to skip going out for dinner with friends or something like that. So you're adding a rush fee because you're essentially doing them a favor. You are accommodating them in an extra way that you wouldn't normally do this. It is you're charging them a fee for the discomfort that it is causing you. And so the question is, should you charge a rush fee? Can you charge a rush fee? Sure. Should you charge a rush fee? Absolutely. If a client it really needs this done in 2 days and they're not at all willing to accommodate, and you have to do something special for them, it's totally reasonable that you would charge extra. I mean, look at it this way. When you order, okay, put Amazon aside for a second, but you order a pair of shoes from a website and their normal delivery is $7.99 and you get it in 10 days, but you really need it in 2 days, then you pay $14.99 or $20.99. You're paying a rush fee, essentially. You're paying to get something faster, and that's what your client is doing. Now, here's the thing that I want to point out. You can charge a rush fee, but you don't have to tell your client that you are charging a rush fee. And in fact, I would strongly recommend that you not tell your client that you're charging a rush fee. Why? Because clients don't want to feel nickeled and dimed. They've told you when they need the date. So it's not a great business practice to say, okay, if you want it on this date, it's going to be this regular fee plus this rush fee. This is the project price and this is the rush fee. No client is going to want to feel nickeled and dimed like that. That's one of the reasons why when you put together a project price, you don't break out, oh, well, I'm budgeting this amount of time for our initial call. I'm budgeting this, or I'm budgeting this amount for our initial call. I'm budgeting this amount for the work. I'm budgeting this amount for the revisions. That's none of their business. It's none of their business how your project price is put together. And so you can, and again, if the project is putting you out a bit, you can and should charge a rush fee, but put that into the project price. Because when you're talking to a client and you say, okay, yes, this is something I want to do, and you both agree that this is a project they'd like to move forward with, and they say, oh, here's the thing though, we need this work, but we need this work done by XYZ date. Is that a possibility? And you say, well, I would normally have it done on this date or something like that. But if they're like, oh, we really need it, a fast turnaround, then you say, okay, that's great. Let me just, like you would end any normal discovery call. You'd say, okay, you know what? I think I can make that work. Let me just go back, take a look at all of my notes, go through everything, and then I'll send you together the quote, including the scope of the project to make sure we're on the same page, and just confirm that date that we mentioned that you'll get that round of work and the cost, and I'll get that to you by end of day today. And obviously, if you can get that back to me sooner, the sooner you do that, then we can meet that date. So you don't have to tell them that there's a rush fee in there. You can just bake that into your project price. There's no need to tell them. How much should your rush fee be? That's going to be up to you. It might be helpful to think about how many other projects you're offsetting. If you're offsetting a certain number of other projects, it might be helpful to think in terms of, all right, I normally work 8 hours a day, I'm going to be working 10 hours a day. Maybe you want to charge double rate or factor in double rate for those extra hours, or double rate if you were going to be going out with friends and instead you're not able to do that, charge double rate for a couple of hours. Or I know some people who just charge a flat fee. It's an extra in their heads, baked into the project price. It's an extra $100 if it's a day earlier than they would normally be able to do it. It's a $200 if it's 2 days earlier than they would normally be able to turn it around. You're going to want to play with that. It's going to be a matter of what feels comfortable to you and what feels reasonable to you. Remember that it's totally reasonable to charge a rush fee because it's an inconvenience for you. But if it's such an inconvenience that you're going to have to stay up all night, you're going to have to, I think there you need to be asking yourself the question of whether or not you should be taking this work. If it's going to be such an inconvenience that it only seems reasonable to you if you charge an extra half of the project rate, if it's a $3,000 project and you're like, this is such an inconvenience, I want to charge a $1,500 rush fee. Well, first of all, your client might not be willing to pay that rate. But also, if it's that much of an inconvenience, maybe you really can't accommodate this work. And maybe you need to talk to the client and let them know that this one isn't going to work out with you. Because you can charge a rush fee, but it shouldn't be a large percentage of the overall rate. It's just think of it like that delivery fee. You pay a little bit more, but once you get to the point where you're paying a lot more, you're not interested and you'll shop somewhere else. And that's something to keep in mind as you're just thinking of what kind of fee you'll add on there, what fee feels fair to you. And again, that's going to be on a person to person basis. Some clients, if they're extra pains in the rear and they want a rush fee, and they want a rush project, maybe you charge an extra high rush fee. But the actual fee that you add in for a rush, that's going to depend on you and on the rest of your schedule and what you feel comfortable with adding in to accommodate that slight discomfort in your schedule, that slight extra pressure. That's what they're paying for.